A look at New Jersey's local sustainability efforts, coming up next on Carpe Diem. Hello and welcome to Spotlight on Sustainability, a special edition of Carpe Diem. I'm Julia Sickler.
And I'm Nelson DePasquale. Today we'll be showcasing examples of how communities and nonprofits, businesses, the government, and individuals are working together to take steps towards sustainability.
We'll also be joined by Montclair Sustainability Coordinator Gray Russell to talk about practical solutions to the energy crisis starting right here in New Jersey.
With all the progress we've made as a civilization, we still face the same limitations and pitfalls that contribute to climate change and environmental justice issues.
You're right. Climate change has been described as one of the most urgent issues affecting the whole planet right now and is the defining human development issue of our generation.
Not to mention the loss of capital associated with outdated and wasteful methods. However, we've seen innovation in action, and that's why we're here today.
We've reached the fork in the road, with one direction continuing down the same path of destroying our planet and the other to a more prosperous and environmentally friendly future.
We're shining a light toward a path that ultimately leads to 100% renewable energy, clean living, and minimal waste, because we certainly can't continue to depend on fossil fuels.
Increasing the use of renewable energies such as solar power, electric, geothermal, biofuels, and wind energy are an increasingly important factor to consider in our pursuit of achieving resiliency.
The residents of Montclair, New Jersey have taken it upon themselves to begin the practice of sustainable agriculture with a family-friendly community farm initiative. Take a look. From chicken coop to bee colony, Montclair Community Farms possesses an old country feel in an urban setting with society and sustainability at the forefront of its mission.
The mission of the Montclair Community Farms is to engage the community in urban farming, affordable food access, sustainable agriculture, and healthy food and lifestyle choices. We're really serving a mission to get our food access out there on our mobile farm stand truck. It's a vital part of our mission. That's where all of our funding is geared.
We got this truck and the farm stand that's behind me through the USDA. We got a grant, and we got that first last year, but before that we were even going around with fresh produce that we grew here. We've donated it to food pantries, and we also bring it to the senior sites just in the back of a car. And they're always excited. We get out there early in the morning. People are waiting outside for us, and everyone's always happy to see us. So bringing that really shows us how much of a help this is and how important this kind of work is. So we don't use pesticides, we don't use things like that. We try to grow organically.
Avery is one of the farmers dedicated to growing and distributing fresh food throughout the area. The organization attracts people of all ages. The community farms also gives children a chance to get a hands-on education in growing their own food. Summer camps and programs throughout the year keep children involved. Ideally, the children will get more involved with the farm as they get older, which would further extend the scope of the farm's mission.
They're here learning in the gardens, and as they get older, they can be those teenagers working in the gardens and running the mobile farm stand. So right now they are participating in farm camp, and that's where we teach them about food systems and gardening and cooking and healthy living. And Avery here is our biggest mascot. She's wearing our logo. Let them see, Avery, of Montclair Community Farms. And the reason we made this logo is because we're a collaboration of 6 or 7 different core organizations. Instead of putting all of our logos on everything, we came up with this really cool farmer chicken logo. Some of the benefits of our coalition socially is we have a lot of health and environmental benefits. Environmental benefits include improving our local food systems, providing greater access to fresh food. That's really the core of our mission. And environmental, I think we hit on the impact of food miles and the fuel it takes to import corn from, say, Mexico when we can grow it right here.
Gardening is really important for sustainability in New Jersey and everywhere. A lot of people don't have access to fresh food, Even in places in Montclair where we go to bring our produce, it's the people who are bringing it to the seniors in Montclair, some of them don't have the access to fresh food that they would like. There was a Pathmark that closed down in Montclair, and that really made things a lot harder for the seniors in Montclair to get around, and for people in general living in that area. All they're surrounded with is fast food places, and most of the alternatives in Montclair are very expensive. Without it, we're really reliant on what these businesses bring in. So if the area you're in isn't like that good for business, it's a poorer area and there are not a lot of big businesses coming in, and you're just stuck with chains like food chains, it's not really good. So when we have local things like this coming up, you don't have to worry about where you get your food. You have a local community supporting you and making you have a healthier life in a way.
People complain about pesticides and fertilizers and the idea of industrial farming, but we do have 7 billion people to feed on this earth. So there's something to be said, you know, to that mass production. However, here, I think with these urban ag projects, we have a lot of opportunity to practice sustainable growing, to grow locally. And that opportunity comes for the fact that, one, we're not relying on it for income. You know, this isn't our job. This is more of a community program. And two, we have really small scale spaces, so we are not, you know, trying to grow a 25-acre strawberry field. We're growing, you know, and supplementing our food from outside farmers. So I think what we come up with is not necessarily the answer, but one good solution that can get us a little closer.
To get the community involved, teaching them how to grow organically, and that is helpful for the environment because you get a lot of pesticides, chemicals in your foods and things like that, then it becomes runoff into the waters. Growing organically without pesticides is difficult to do, but it's a lot better for the environment.
From a historical perspective, Montclair Community Farms offers the opportunity for people to understand our past and our food culture, where we've come over the past 200-300 years, and how our eating habits affects our health and lifestyle choices today. We're going back to our roots in our past with urban farming, and it really is a great opportunity for us to explore that more with our partners and collaborators with people in the community.
When we ask them what they learned after a couple hours in the garden, they always end up replying that farming is a lot of work, and I think we have to appreciate that and recognize that. And the more small-scale urban farms or even backyard gardens, community gardens we can get, that's the less we're relying on those big industrial agriculture farms. Let me ask, do you think farming is a hard job?
If you're like a farmer and you live on a real farm, then it is a lot of work.
And I think that's really important. Part of this urban ag local food movement is we are not saying that this is the answer, because we know realistically that farming, you know, to feed the population is a lot of work, and that they've been doing it for generations, and you know, we're just here to help them out a little.
It is truly remarkable what can be accomplished with the right attitude, community partnerships, and some non-petroleum-based elbow grease.
Very true. Sustainable agriculture and farming is not merely a dream that resides solely within nonprofits and volunteer work. There are validated business models that show that it's possible to make a substantial profit from employing eco-friendly methods.
Aero Farms is a prime example of a business that contributes to economic and environmental sustainability. It hosts the country's largest indoor vertical farm at their new global headquarters in Newark, New Jersey. Let's check it out. Traditional agriculture takes a massive toll on the planet's natural resources. Aero Farms is on a mission to transform agriculture by building and operating environmentally responsible farms throughout the world to enable local production at scale and nourish our communities with safe, nutritious, and delicious food. They disrupt traditional supply chains by building farms on major distribution routes and near population centers. They defy traditional growing seasons by enabling local farming at a commercial scale all year round. Aero Farms sets a new standard for traceability by managing their greens from seed to package, and they do it all while using 95% less water than field-farmed food and with yields 130 times higher per square foot annually.
There has been tremendous demand for their locally grown delicious produce, and they have farms in development in multiple U.S. states and on 4 continents, with one of the largest vertical farms right here in Newark, New Jersey. There has never been a greater need for safe, dependable, nutritious food, and they are scaling quickly to transform agriculture around the world.
Aero Farms is the commercial leader in indoor farming. They grow without sun or soil in a fully controlled indoor environment. They have optimized their patented aeroponic growing system for faster harvest cycles, predictable results, superior food safety, and less environmental impact.
Aero Farms is constantly monitoring all of the macro and micronutrients for our plants to provide them with everything that they need to thrive. They are able to take the exact same seed from the field and grow it in half the time as a traditional field farmer, leading to 390 times more productivity per square foot. Aero Farms made the list for Inc. magazine's top 25 most disruptive companies of 2017. To qualify, companies needed groundbreaking ideas and ambitious plans for bringing them to market. Aero Farms was honored for leading the movement to grow the world's food more sustainably, all while having a sustainable business model that makes profits and employs locals.
It's our pleasure to welcome to the studio Gray Russell, Sustainability Coordinator for the Township of Montclair and Board Member for the Association of New Jersey Recyclers.
Welcome, Greg. Glad you're able to join us.
Nice to be here.
Now, as Sustainability Coordinator for the Township of Montclair, what are the town's priorities and your responsibilities pertaining to them?
Well, basically my role has 2 components, 2 categories, primarily working for the municipal operations and helping them to be more efficient, to save money. These are mostly cost-saving practices like energy efficiency or reducing waste. So helping the buildings of the municipality run smarter at less cost. And also the fleet, we're greening up our fleet to make them, to be able to get the same service from those vehicles but using less petroleum. And the other category, the other half of my work, is public outreach and information. So sharing information with the residents of Montclair, helping them also to make the right decisions, letting them know about our recycling programs, and we run special events, and basically when people call with looking for information, we can answer all their questions.
All right, great. What's the importance of having sustainability focus at the community and municipal level versus just the state and federal level?
Well, Julie, you know, international agreements and leadership is really important, but it's very hard to get many different countries working together on the same page. And national leadership is important also, but from time to time we're not getting that leadership from the national government. It is really at the state and local level where the transformation of our society really has to happen and is happening. It's where citizens have the most direct contact with their elected officials, and it's where they can take the most direct action. So sustainability initiatives, whether it is for environmental justice, whether it is for being environmentally good stewards, or whether it is economic responsibility, those things can happen faster and more efficiently at the community level and for towns and cities.
Okay.
That's an interesting dynamic to think about. Now, can you give us a few examples of what a business or an individual can do to transition to sustainability without hurting their bottom line?
Absolutely. There's many things that lots of businesses are already taking steps to do to green up their shops and their businesses. Even in a town like Montclair, you know, businesses are promoting their recycling programs. They're always trying to buy local. Shoppers more and more are looking for these types of objects to be able to buy. At restaurants, more and more you see them trying to buy local or to buy organic. Through a partnership with the Institute for Sustainability Studies right here at Montclair State University, we initiated 2 years ago a green business recognition program. So we went out to virtually every business in Montclair and interviewed the stores and asked them what steps they're taking and if they're interested in taking further steps, whether it has to do with improving their lighting and trying to save money by using less power through smarter equipment, or again boosting their recycling program, or even community programs if they support student initiatives and hire locally and buy locally. And we identified them, and we found a couple of dozen businesses that earned a certification as a Montclair Green business. And even at the larger level, certainly larger corporations and businesses, they're all looking to save money with their bottom line, and that can be done really effectively by making sure that their energy use is, they're either conserving or through efficiency or through renewable energy, saving money that way.
That's interesting because, you know, saving money is going to be the main, you know, focus to get this movement going, I think, in most situations, you know, with
Absolutely.
The government the way it is.
Absolutely.
Right
If
now.
it costs more, it's going to be harder to get to make progress. It's going to be harder for businesses to take those steps.
A serious question. How soon do you think that the shift to a sustainability culture will be a solution to the energy crisis and ultimately to climate change?
Well, I think, Julia, it's happening already. It's started. We're undergoing an energy transformation in America and around the world right now. We can see that with the grid is getting greener and greener all the time. New Jersey's grid actually emits less greenhouse gases than the national grid. And you see more and more solar panels going up, both for residents and homeowners, but also for, you know, municipal governments are doing that. And really one of the biggest transformations is the switch to electric vehicles. We are undergoing really a revolution right in our lifetimes, and this will be happening faster and faster over the next decade as we switch away from petroleum and to batteries to drive cars. So these things are happening, and they are all, again, they are cost savers. They are health benefits from getting away from pollution-emitting vehicles and getting to a non-emitting vehicle. And those things are happening, and the costs are great, but they are also reducing the emissions of greenhouse gases that are changing the chemistry of our atmosphere, which is causing climate change. So I think I have a very positive outlook, and I think that these things are happening around us. And it's, you know, it can happen both at the local level as well as the state level, and then certainly nationally and internationally.
Well, yeah, as technology increases and gets better, then the cost goes down. Tesla just came out with the Model 3 car,
Yep.
and it's only $35,000.
Yeah.
I mean, they've made a limited amount, so the list to get them is very long. But you know, where we're seeing the ability to be more environmentally friendly is becoming a lot more cost effective.
Absolutely. My Chevy Volt is parked right outside. It's a pluggable hybrid vehicle. And I save a lot of money running that way. It's the equivalent of like $1 a gallon, my electricity costs compared to if I was buying gasoline.
Oh, it's interesting. You know, for some people that are kind of on the fence of this movement, are there any particular things you would say to them to kind of, you know, let them see, you know, get them progress towards, you know, the forward thinking that we're trying to promote here today?
Well, you know, climate issues and sustainability in general, there are just so many positive elements to it. It's hard to see why someone would not be willing to take steps and move in a direction that is healthier, cost-saving, and also reduces our impacts on the environment around us. There are just so many positive steps to it. If somebody was worried that it was going to cost more, there's just so many examples of how they can actually save money. So
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the direction that we're moving.
Thank you for joining us, Gray. It was great to have you.
It was a pleasure, Nelson. Thank you very much.
You know, it's great to see the government at a municipal level take sustainability initiatives into their own hands, and to see people working together to create a better, healthier future.
That future doesn't just consist of shifting business practices and governmental regulations. There are transition and sustainability movements all across the world that are centered around celebrating and remembering who we are, where we come from, and returning to what it means to be connected to the earth.
Let's take a look at Perma Jam, an annual New Jersey-based music festival that promotes permaculture, sustainability, the arts, and the deepened sense of community.
Perma Jam began in 2016, combining music, art, ecology, sustainability, and wisdom from our ancestors to create an unforgettable experience. At Perma Jam, you'll find workshops on sustainability, yoga, great food, and medicine to help nourish our surrounding communities.
Love for the earth, music, art, ecology, care for one another, grieving, releasing, healing. Healing is part of our culture. Medicine is part of our culture.
John Lee Rucker is the original founder of Permajam, and John and his team work year-round to create events, volunteer opportunities, and gatherings for intentional communities.
We want a healthy planet, we want healthy people, we want healthy children, right? And music is medicine. It's the best medicine, you know? All this whole creation is music, sound, vibrating, right? Music goes right past the mind, right into the heart. It's something that you can feel. And there's a message with all the music that we have here. It's conscious music, it has a message. So whether people are aware of it or not, that music is penetrating them on a deep level. We know there's a lot of problems. We know there's a lot of work that we have to do. So let's have a good time doing it. Let's have a celebration. Let's let this time be a celebration. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Human beings are waking up. We're realizing from the damage that we've done. You know, we're remembering who we are. We're remembering how beautiful this earth is, how precious it is. So, you know, music is here to raise the spirit up, have a celebration. You know, it's about beauty. You know, think about beauty. What do you envision a beautiful world to be? I envision a beautiful world to have music and laughter, everyone singing, dancing, having good, healthy food. You know, music is just so beautiful. And when I envision the beautiful coming together and uniting of us human beings, well, of course, there's going to be music.
We have everything we need to balance ourselves, to know ourselves, to share ourselves, but our patterns and habits haven't necessarily made it so we've been in harmony. Slow down, right? Because it's so easy for us to grow in one of our loops or autopilot. If not now, when? We are the first species to be conscious while we're evolving. You know, like we have a lot of power in our hands. And sure, we don't have to think about it that much. We can just let it happen. But we also want to stay focused on goals that are for the good of all, as stewards of the earth.
Permaculture is a way that we design our life, our living systems, our relationship with the land and with all the things that we use, the resources, the elements, the water, the soil. It's how we design that, you know, how we work with it in a way that's permanent and regenerative, meaning that as we create a permaculture system, it's just going to create a healthier ecosystem over time. So it's very important to listen and observe Mother Nature. What's happening here? Where's the sunlight? How's the water flowing? You know, what are the plant species that are here? How can we assist nature?
I think we're already in the transition phase. Solar and wind are on the rise. These are the job creators despite the illusions that are being told to the people. So there is a transition, there is a shift. It is a slow shift. We hope that we can shift big enough in time so that we don't have to see devastation. And this is kind of the race to wake up that we're in. Constitutional thinking is not a science, it's an art, right?
Dandelion's passion for the environment is on display during his national workshops. He is focused on spreading public awareness of the health and environmental benefits of herbal medicine, food, and remedies.
Is going to circulate your blood. So as I tour around in my forage mobile and collect plants and make remedies from them, I also teach workshops on herbalism, foraging, ecology, fermentation, do-it-yourself, backyard herbalism. And so that's a way that really kind of plugs people back into the land that they live upon, what herbs and plants they can look to, and how to actually safely prepare them. Welcome to Cribs.
Dan lives and works out of his Forage Mobile, a crowd-funded van he uses for workshops and foraging and collecting herbs for use in his product line. He travels to festivals like Permajam across the country.
My organization and business is called Return to Nature because I believe that you have to return. We can't go back, and I would like to see us kind of return to a more ecologically minded approach of engaging natural resources in a way that's sustainable not only for the planet but also for the people who live on the planet. And I try to harvest in a way that's compassionate and good to the ecology and I try to reseed things and really do my part to restore the habitat and not just take from it. If humans continue to consume at the rate they are, which means large-scale waste, large-scale basically shipping, I think that we're pretty doomed in the sense of we don't have enough energy infrastructure in place to do the same thing that we've been doing. We're a large population of a species doing things in a way that affects the entire ecosystem. When you go out and you walk in nature, and even if you take your shoes off or you find a stream and you put your feet in there, or you walk through the woods, you're going to feel different. And that's something that people don't necessarily give themselves the time to actually experience. So when you go out and you breathe in nature, so much is changing, and this is the thing that I think people just need to feel and let that be your kind of guide. So it's always about, kind of put the cart before the horse, get out there, explore the ecosystem in a safe way, and then just note your blood pressure, note how you feel, note how your mind changes, and that's really an important thing to lead us.
We're creating a culture of responsibility here, where we're all responsible for what happens here. Like I said, I don't own it, and it doesn't own me. It's up to all of us to help grow this together.
Wow, what an awesome message from a like-minded community. We had a lot of fun filming that. This inclusive and family-friendly festival could be the introduction into the world of environmental sustainability that you've been looking for.
There's no wrong way to approach this movement. From planting your own seeds to joining an existing garden, there's no shortage of ways to begin your journey to a brighter, more environmentally friendly future as accessibility increases.
What we've shown in this episode are just a few examples from New Jersey of organizations that are doing their part to start the necessary paradigm shift to sustainability that supports the triple bottom line of people, profit, and planet.
To be a part of the discussion and to learn more about our upcoming projects in the sustainability movement, check out our website, spotlightonsustainability.com. For more information on this or any other edition of Carpe Diem, contact us at carpediem@montclair.edu or call 973-655-5158.
Thank you for joining us on this special episode of Spotlight on Sustainability on Carpe Diem. I'm Julia Sickler.
And I'm Nelson DePasquale. And remember, the responsibility to ensure our planet's future is in your hands.